what you noticed? You noticed that it had a lot of containers, that they were pouring spice into the containers. A few containers were left and nothing was poured in them. Why were 8 containers left empty? If the big bottle is empty of the liquid, how many little bottles will be filled? And you had guessed that 5 little bottles will be filled, and 2 is the smallest number of bottles, and 10 is the highest number of bottles. All right, so then I'm going to show you the piece of information that would help us to figure this out. All right, here we go. And we saw that last time too, and it said the big bottle has how much?
397.
And the little bottle has how much?
64.
So how are we going to figure out how many little bottles would be filled?
What did you say?
So we were trying to figure out how many little bottles could we fill using the big bottle. How are we going to figure that out?
We could count. We can count.
We could count what?
We could count how much 64 of the little bottles are there.
Okay, I'm gonna write down what you just said. Okay. We can count 64 of the little bottles are there? We can count 64 of the little bottles are there. What do you mean by that? Can you explain what you mean by when you said you...
Some of the little bottles are only filled up, but they can only be filled up with only 64.
So how will we know when to stop counting?
We can stop counting when we
well, we can keep thinking about that. So we'll have to end up figuring out when to stop counting. But like, what would our first count be? So if you said we need to count some, what would you do first when you're doing your counting?
I would just count 64 little. I'll just count how much little bottles, and then I'll count what 64 plus 64 plus 64 equals. Okay,
can I write that down so I don't forget? So you said you're gonna go 64 plus 64 plus 64, and then we're gonna keep doing that until we figure out when to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote it down. The next time I see you, we'll start that counting.